Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beltway Book Club. I am your host, Ellen Meny, and I am so excited to welcome my author today. That would be Jennifer Shoop. She is the author of Small Wonders, A Field Guide to Life's Quiet Joys. You are also the author of the website Magpie.
I am.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you are, I believe, would you say you write poetry?
That's so funny. Someone just asked me that yesterday. I don't consider myself a poet,
Okay.
but there is poetry in the book, so I guess I am.
I was asking because I was going to say you're the first poet I've had on the show.
Interesting.
But and we can talk about kind of how you describe your writing. But first of all, tell me as a whole what you write, both this book and Magpie.
So this book is a collection of essays, musings, and list poetry. That I also publish similar types of content on my blog alongside. There I also do book reviews, there's style roundups, so it's a little bit more, a little broader aperture there.
And what inspired you to then dive into the world of writing a physical book?
Well, this book, Small Wonders, I say it's a book about the art of paying attention. And that is a theme that I grapple with constantly on the blog as well. I've learned in my adult life that really dialing in on the life in its smallest increments, whether it's sort of the repetitions of motherhood, the profoundly ordinary parts of everyday living, the very boring seeming backyard birds, paying attention to those everyday wonders really has given my life a lot of shape and meaning. And so I explore a lot of that in the book.
Well, and the book itself is quite beautiful.
Thank you.
Starting with the cover, it's stunning. It immediately made me feel peaceful.
Oh, good.
Is that what you were hoping?
That was the hope. I really have talked about this book. I hope that it feels like a soft landing or an exhale, something quiet that you can return to in the morning. A lot of my blog readers are morning people, so I thought this could be a part of a morning ritual.
I love that. That is beautiful. How did you get started writing in the first place? Was there a moment, was it like a childhood thing, or did it come later in life?
Absolutely. I say I've been writing this book since I was 6 years old.
I love that.
I really believe that. I don't know if that's how you feel about your writing as well. But I started writing by putting little stories underneath my mom's pillow. And I've been writing ever since. And in some ways, I mean, I think about writing as a practice, something that you rehearse your whole life. And so in that sense, there is some through line between the Jen of 6 who was writing really bad little short stories for my mom to the Jen of now who's still writing about what she knows and what she wants to read.
That's a beautiful thing. Do you ever, now that you're where you are right now with your book and your blog, do you ever look back at little Jen and wonder what she thinks?
All the time. I actually keep a picture of myself at the age of 6 on my desk. And I thought it would be a way of reminding myself how far I've come, but really it's helpful in terms of how I talk to myself. I would never say to a 6-year-old, you know, you're doing that badly.
Right.
It's more about you're learning how to do this or, you know, speaking in a gentler voice.
That is beautiful. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I might steal that from you.
You should.
And do that. Well, I want to talk about the contents of the book, Small Wonders. I feel like you talked about this earlier, but where did the title Small Wonders come from?
This is really about looking at life in its finest grain detail. You know, as I gave a couple of examples about the birds, the sort of pocket change kindnesses that people extend your way, the really small, teeny ways that people let you know that they care about you. One piece in the book is called 10 I Love Yous, and that has been my most popular piece I've ever published. I think it's been seen 2 million times online.
I have seen it myself.
You have?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But really that's like the ethos of the book is trying to find those almost fibrous nothings that actually mean a lot.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen your work before, and it's different and it's compelling. And I think that's why so many people relate to it, because it taps into just a very human part of us. Did you think when you were writing in the style that you do, kind of almost poetry / prose, did you think it would capture so many people?
No, I didn't. And I'm still surprised that anyone even reads what I'm writing. I don't, but I actually think that's part of the craft of writing. I think it's really dangerous to start to think too much about your audience, because I think it gets in the way. It gets you into your head.
Right.
And I often, when fellow writers or aspiring writers come to me and or want to talk about craft, I often say, try to find a place or a space where you feel least like a writer. Like, write where you're most comfortable, right? It might be writing in your pajamas, it might be writing by hand, whatever it is just get out of the performance of writing and into the heart of writing.
That is fantastic advice. I also wanted to ask about Mary Oliver, because obviously I feel like nature and poetry and Mary Oliver are so connected, and I know you've taken inspiration from her. Talk about that. Talk about how like Mary Oliver has influenced your work.
Absolutely. And I actually saw on your Instagram account there was a picture of her book Felicity on one of your picnic tables. And I was curious if you also liked her. But yes, I love Mary Oliver. She's a naturalist American poet, and she has this great, she one time said, instructions for living: pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. And I think that is, I've taken that instruction to heart. And I feel like I write very consciously in her tradition. I find the way that she thinks about the birds and the trees in her own writings have profoundly shaped me and helped give me a little bit of direction in my own writing as well.
And yes, I do think she really, I love her as well. And I think she really inspires me personally to get in touch with nature and to slow down. And it sounds like this book as well really encourages people to slow down, which I feel like in this day and age, we really need it when we're surrounded by technology. Well, Jen, we have to go to break, but when we come back, obviously we'll talk more. I want to hear about some of your favorite books. So everybody, thank you so much for watching the Beltway Book Club, and we will be right back after these quick messages. Welcome back, everyone, to the Beltway Book Club. I'm your host, Ellen Meny, and I'm so excited to welcome back my guest, Jennifer Shoop. She is the author of Small Wonders and the author of Magpie blog as well. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we've been talking about your book, which is the full title, Small Wonders, A Field Guide to Life's Quiet Joys, which is something I feel like we all need. But I wanted to ask you, maybe it's a random question, but the dedication was to your dad, and it says, "For Dad, you were right." What was he right about?
So my dad was an attorney by trade, and when I was growing up, he used to go to this little workshop behind our house, and he would do repair jobs, do some woodworking. And I remember visiting with him there, and he would say, "Jen, you should do something with your life where you build, where you create." And that made such a huge impression on me. And then in his every action, he encouraged me to pursue a creative life. He even footed the bill for me to get a master's in literature, which is not super practical. I mean, the career prospects are pretty dim.
It worked out.
It did. So yeah, because he encouraged me, and he put his weight behind me. He enabled me to pursue this alternative career path, and now I'm a working writer, and I have a new book, and I think most importantly, doing something every day that I feel creatively interested in.
That is beautiful. Well, speaking of building and doing something you're creatively interested in, I'd love to talk about the writing process for this book and kind of beyond. Do you have a writing process day by day?
I'm very disciplined.
Okay, yeah.
I am usually at my desk from 9 to 5. I treat it like a job.
Okay.
And that's really because I've found that inspiration is not always going to find me. And so I've had to learn to be disciplined. Like you can't control when the muses are going to descend, but you can show up every day, and I call it shaking hands with a blank page. Just see what comes out, even if it's just a paragraph. So I was very disciplined, and I was ready to write this book for that reason. I feel like I've been practicing for years because I've been publishing daily on my blog for this opportunity.
I was going to say, running a daily blog, and when did you start it?
10 years ago.
Okay, you've written probably like 5 books at least by running
it feels
the blog.
That way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you said you were ready to write this book. Did it feel different? Did writing a book feel different than running Magpie?
It did, in the sense that there were different constraints on the process. I had, an editor to speak with, and she was wonderful, and the book is much improved by her effort. And there were deadlines, and it wasn't so self-motivated. So that was interesting, but I think that at the heart of it, I was just doing what I've been doing every single day. It maybe felt like the stakes were higher, though. So I had like slightly different rituals. I had to turn off the overhead lights. I had to put on a specific playlist. I had to have noise-canceling headphones, all these things that I'm not as ritualistic about, but with this, it felt like I had to get into like uppercase Jen, like serious writing Jen.
Right. Official writer, official author. Do you have any advice for people who want to dive into writing?
This sounds almost ridiculous to say.
Let's hear it.
But just begin. You can make it better later. I think, again, that discipline piece, the only way I know how to shrink the gap between my ambition for writing and my current ability is by doing it every day and showing up and rehearsing and writing badly many days, and sometimes you do a little bit better. So I think it's really about creating practice, just getting it out there. And then also, I mentioned this earlier, but I think a key is writing what you want to read.
Okay, yeah.
Not writing what's trendy or what you think people want to read, but write what you want to read, because that authenticity and excitement and the weirdness, the good weirdness that comes out when you're writing about something that's really interesting to you, I think makes it interesting to other people.
I think weirdness is an underrated element in writing.
For sure.
Where it's that little like je ne sais quoi, that kind of like it factor that people don't quite think about enough.
Completely. I always am surprised that people seem to latch on to the really specific oddball detail that I leave in. I think it makes people trust you, because how could you create something so odd? You can't just manufacture that. It had to, and I think, people want the color, the detail.
Yes, absolutely. Well, speaking of which, speaking of wonderful books, let's talk about reading, because I feel like all writers, you kind of have to read. It's a prerequisite.
Yes.
And you got your degree. You mentioned you went to school for literature. You went to Georgetown, right?
I did, yes.
Yes. Okay, go Hoyas. I didn't go to Georgetown. I feel like you're supposed to say go Hoyas, right?
Yes, and we're right down the street,
yes,
so it makes
sense. Exactly. So do you have a favorite book?
I don't know about favorite book, but I read a lot of poetry daily. Some of my favorite current authors are Sally Rooney and Ann Patchett, Barbara Kingsolver. When I was growing up, I was really into, the Boxcar Children.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Nancy Drew, anything that, and even Cam Jansen. Do you remember that series? She has like a photographic memory.
I feel like that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure you must have encountered it, but I was obsessed with those types of books, as a lot of young girls are. But I look back now and I see it's empowering to imagine yourself as, the protagonist who's solving crimes just by noticing.
Right.
Or solving problems. And I didn't realize it then, but I think that genre really appealed to me as a child, because it was about, you could solve things just by noticing, just by, looking around the world, being a watchful witness of what's happening, which turns out to be very much what I do on a daily basis.
I was going to say, this is all about kind of watching. And, on that note, I want to go back to the book for a second, because you reminded me, you are a local author, obviously. And this is all about nature. What nature of the DMV inspired you?
So, yes, I grew up very close to Rock Creek Park.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time down there. But honestly, it wasn't until I came back. So I lived in Chicago and then New York City, and then came back here 5 years ago. When I came back, I realized how much I missed I didn't even realize it, the weather, like the humidity, the rolling landscape, the way DC, Georgetown sort of collides into the Potomac. I missed that undulating geography.
Yes.
And the local birds and trees. I hadn't even really paid attention to them. And now coming back with fresh eyes, it's all been second findings. And I write a lot about the local mid-Atlantic topography and natural world now.
Fantastic. I love that. Well, Jen, we have to go to break, but when we come back, we'll obviously talk more about your book.
Great.
Yeah, so stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back with more Beltway Book Club very soon. See y'all soon. Welcome back to the Beltway Book Club, everyone. I am here with my guest, Jennifer Shoop. She is the author of Small Wonders, A Field Guide to Life's Quiet Joys. Did not mean to skip the main title before diving in. So, Jen, earlier we talked about one of your kind of most well-known pieces, which is 10 I Love Yous. Would you read it to us?
I'd love to.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
10 I Love Yous. How did you sleep? A full tank of gas waiting for you in the car. A sticky note reading, heat at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Your dad wandering around your backyard tearing up weeds. A text message replying, yes! The doorknob mysteriously fixed. An email reading, saw this and thought of you. A string of heart emojis. Your favorite flavor of yogurt stocked in your mother's fridge. Tell me everything.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
And how did you come up with that? Or what was the inspiration behind it?
I think that sometimes we overlook the ways that people let us know that they care about us, or we're expecting or wanting love to arrive in certain shapes and forms. But the way I've witnessed it has been in lots of little tiny ways that are easy to overlook. And I thought it was a really fun prompt to think about in my life, how people have shown me that they care in these tiny ways. Like, these are all you can probably tell from my own life. Like mom.
I was gonna ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mom always has my favorite seltzer flavors. And so I thought that was just a nice way of letting people know I can see that.
Well, and I think it connects really well to the book as a whole, because in a way, those 10 I love yous are like the unseen ways that people love us, like the small ways. And similarly, this book is all about kind of the smaller things that we can't necessarily always see. And this book is kind of a combo of your writing, like the one you just read, and then little like vignettes. Do you have a favorite vignette? Like, we don't have to read it right now, but if you have anything specific that you love.
I think there's one piece that's called You Are Not a NASA Project, and it's about realizing you don't have to rush through your day like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
Instead, you can let the day fall slack around you and be a slow heart rate. I really love that type of writing because it's what I need to hear. I'm reminding myself of that. So that's a favorite. And then there's lots of nature writings, especially if you're local to the DC area. You might recognize the animals and plants that I'm writing about. So it might be a good fit.
Wonderful. What do you hope people take from this book? What do you hope a reader closes the book and thinks about?
I think centeredness is really what I was after. Quiet centeredness that you can achieve by being a watchful witness. I feel like we've talked about that a lot, but just paying attention.
And where can people pay attention to you? Where can people find you online? Because I know they're going to want to read more.
Thank you. You can find me every day on my blog. I publish daily, magpiebyjenshoop.com. You can find the book basically anywhere you want to buy books, but locally it's stocked at Politics and Prose, Wonderland Books, Proper Topper Gift Boutique in Northwest DC.
Love that place. Very cute.
I love that place. Or, Amazon, Target, wherever you like to buy books.
And what's next for you in terms of writing? Do you have anything on the horizon?
I've actually been working on a fictional manuscript for a long time.
Okay.
A literary romance. So that will be a little bit of a pivot, but I'll continue to publish more of what I've become known for on my blog. But it's just been a little passion project of mine to explore a different medium.
Well, I look forward to eventually seeing it on the shelves. And then do you have any events coming up that people can attend?
I do. So tomorrow there's one in New York City.
Okay.
You can find all this information on my website too. There's an event at Proper Topper again on Thursday, and then next month, May 21st, I'll be at Politics and Prose Union Market. If anyone wants to join, I would love to see my DC friends there.
Fantastic. You are a woman about town. New York tomorrow. Oh my
Busy,
goodness.
but it's so exciting. I'm
Yes.
so excited to be able to be invited to talk about the book.
Yes. And now when you travel, do you still maintain your writing schedule, or are you still?
I still do squeeze in a little bit of writing
Okay.
every single day, but I'm
Yeah.
not obviously able to do the 9 to 5 tomorrow. I'll be on the train.
Right. We are only human. I mean, it's tough. It is tough. Well, Jen, thank you so much. And before we go, I forgot to ask you before, what's your favorite Mary Oliver poem?
This is probably a cop-out, but Wild Geese, which I know she is so known for, but
classic.
it just speaks. It's a classic for a reason.
No, I totally understand. I that's one of my favorites too, and it's a classic for a reason, as you said. Well, Jen, one more time, where can people find you?
You can visit me daily on my website, Magpie by Jen Shoop. I'm also on Instagram. Or I'm around DC. If you see me, come say hi.
I love that. I love a real life interaction. Fantastic. Well, Jen, thank you again for coming on the show. It was so great to chat with you. Yes. And again, Small Wonders, a field guide to life's quiet joys. I have it here as well, is out right now. You can find it wherever books are sold. Jen, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yes, everybody, thank you so much for watching the Beltway Book Club. Keep reading, keep writing, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great one. Keep on reading.